Hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks. I want to talk to you about something specifically regarding, I guess, what we would term these days neurodivergency, and Bo's, the way he processes things, because it really was sort of made obvious to me just the last 2 days how differently he processes things. So as you know, we got him a dictaphone to take to school with him. So at the end of the first day, I asked him, how did it go with the dictaphone? And he said, oh, well, I didn't know how to turn it on, so I didn't use it. Now, most neurotypical kids or people, when you give them a new object, so I'm not talking about all people with autism, because if you gave it to his father, he would pick it up and he would turn it and look at it and see where the on off button was, see this and that. In fact, I remember, oh my gosh, it's got to be 25 years ago, we got a new car, and Richard took the manual for the car to bed. Now clearly we know how to drive a car and we can see where the air condition, but there are some people on the spectrum who are so into instructions and manuals and working things out and how to do and those sorts of things. And then there are other people on the spectrum that can't, literally cannot, don't even, it's like they have blinkers on. If they are not shown, they simply do not know. And this is what is so interesting, and I think this is why I guess it's referred to as a spectrum, or I guess that's why some people refer high functioning or low functioning, or I can't even think honestly of all the terms that different people use for ASD. But specifically, this is really an interesting thing about Bo, is that, if you give him something new, you may as well be giving him this foreign alien object. He's not going to sit there and work out, look at it and work out how to use it. It's the same again with, his getting dressed. If the socks aren't in there, he's not going to sit and think, okay, well, where are they? If the, excuse me, I'm still so unwell. If, he brings in his short every single day he asks which goes in the whites and which goes in the darks. And it's almost, I think, now a routine. If he brings in a pair of pants and he says, so the last couple of days we went out and we got Finn a whole bunch of new school pants, because the kids just shot up like you wouldn't believe. So there's not a lot of difference now between Bo's sizing of clothes and Finn's sizing of clothes, which is really annoying, because I used to be able to hand everything down, but now can't. So he comes in and he says, would these pants fit me? And I've said to him a few times, just look at the size. This is your size. Or, some kids would just try them on. Bo cannot. He cannot function for himself on his own. He has to be told. And whether it's telling him the same thing every single day, that is how he processes, which is so interesting, because then you put him into school and, his physics and his chemistry and his biology, and, he just shines. He's amazing. He comes to me with well, he doesn't. He says I hear him say something And he says, oh no, Mum, you know, I'll have to wait until I see Dad because you wouldn't be able to help me with this. He's right. I couldn't. His, you know, year 11 chemistry, even biology, I'm really good with biology, but you know, the stuff they're learning, I even studied psychology myself, but the stuff they are learning is just, you know, it's beyond me. So, but he shines, but he cannot work out how to turn on a dictaphone. So last night we sat with him, and you know, we did it like you would, I don't even know. I mean, so many, I look at, you know, the way other babies are, and you know, they've worked out how to use the iPad, the iPhone, they've worked out how to turn the TV on, they've worked out all these things. You know, I think it's, you know, I'm not talking about necessarily like the operation of it and the fact that you know, they've worked out how to press record and if they can't read and those sorts of things. But most kids, when they receive something, really have that capacity to work it out, to just sort of sit there and work out, what is this object, what does it do, how does it work. I don't know if, so one of the things that I found really interesting with the interview with Richard Eisenmeyer from the ASD clinic was that he was saying that the very definition of autism is the over ability of the brain to do one thing at which causes the under ability to do another thing. Now I'm paraphrasing, and I know ability wasn't the word that he used, but still it really shows what he was talking about with that peak and trough. So if you go into the interviews playlist on my on any of my channels, any of the ASD Rocks channels, Instagram, YouTube, Instagram doesn't have actual playlists, YouTube and Facebook, you will find the interviews playlist, and you'll see all the different interviews with all the different people that I've done about autism. So we've got interviews with dentists, how to get your sensory sensitive kids into the dentist, interviews with psychologists, psychiatrists, all those sorts of things. But specifically the one which I really enjoyed is the What is Autism by Richard Eisenmeyer, who is a diagnostician. So I mean, he did his PhD in theory of mind within autism. He was there for the actual birth of the term Asperger's and the demise of the term, the medical term Asperger's. So as well as being a diagnostician. So it was amazing to hear him define exactly what autism is. And so, like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but he was talking about this peak and trough abilities of you know, whereas a neurotypical person is going to be a lot more like this. Yeah, I'm good at this, I'm not so good at that. Whereas within autism, you've got, I'm brilliant here and I am completely substandard here. And with Bo, that level of substandard is life abilities, basic independent life skills. So it's very interesting to see that for him. So please understand, once again, I'm going to say, I'm talking about Bo. Richard's autism, totally different, but then they are on completely different ends of the spectrum. So, or they are at different functioning levels, or they are whatever it is that's going to stop someone writing something stupid about that they don't like something being called something, because I just don't have enough videotape to be able to say all the words to appease enough people. So yeah, I found that really, really interesting that he couldn't even turn it on. So last night we sat down, we did a few tests, we went through it. Now he knows how to do it. The teachers are all across it, they know. So today he will have taken that in, he knows how to start it, he knows how to stop it, he knows how to turn it on. And tonight we will show him how to file those files so that if later on down the track he needs to revisit a class for revision for whatever, he will be able to do that. But that was really interesting to me last night, you know, sort of hit me in the face, because I always think, oh, we're doing so well, and we are, don't get me wrong, we are. You know, Bo is mostly capable of living at home independently. You know, his diet has improved, he's verbal now. He's verbal to the point where he's now making jokes. He's not great with sarcasm, fine. He does misunderstand, you know, his receptive communication isn't great, and he still does obviously struggle with to actually communicate himself. Expressive communication, you can always see him halting and like watching that process of the word that he's trying, or what he's trying to say, sort of make its way out. But he's brushing his teeth, he's, you know, he's doing so well, so well, and then all of a sudden you get to something and you see it and you go, well, this kid can't even work out how to turn on a dictaphone, which on the side says on off. And it's because he simply doesn't look. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. I do. I know what a lot of you are going to say, and you go, my husband doesn't even look at, you know, if there's no socks on, my husband would look, or, you know, I get the joke. I know, it's funny. Most men are like that. So are a lot of women, and I get, but I'm talking really specifically, you know, yes, it's funny, haha, I'll say it for you, but this is, you know, this is a serious deficiency. Anyway, all right, guys, ASD rocks. I am off to see the doctor and try and find out why I am not getting any better.